The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 2 of Mage the Ascension, Neon Tempest. I am Ravnos Archon. I am the storyteller. You can call me Will, though, since we're friends now. And before we get into what's happened between Season 1 and Season 2, let's let everybody introduce themselves and their characters.
Hi everybody, I'm Relyn Dare, also known as Mama McStabber in Twitch chat, and tonight I'll be playing Lydia Thompson, a mage from the Cult of Ecstasy. And tonight we are actually playing this game as part of the Game Pink initiative with National Breast Cancer Foundation. We are raising money for National Breast Cancer Foundation through this charity, and you can find the donation link in Twitch chat and also in our panels if you would like to donate to the charity, because they are actually raising money this month with a variety of streamers to help supply mammograms and get appointments for folks for mammograms that are in need or have been displaced from their employment or have lost their insurance. Because over the course of the pandemic, people have not been getting their mammograms and their preventative care. So they're trying to really boost their funds to be able to outreach to those folks. And we are hoping to raise a lot of money for these folks so we can help them out. And we appreciate your donations.
Good evening. I'm Ben Nix, and I'll be portraying John Baker of the Euthanatos.
Hi, my name is Brad, TimberBrad411 in Twitch chat, and I will be playing Alistair King, the worst hermetic ever.
Good evening. I am the Ivy Raven, and I will be playing Anita Maple, a humble mage of the Verbena tradition. Words.
I appreciate that you have attempted to take in all of these mage words that are new to you, And by the end of this, I hope that we have a better understanding of what they mean. But it has been almost 2 years since the event of the 12-night bombing at the Biltmore in Coral Gables. It's a tragic story of a drug deal gone sour. New attention has befallen the historic landmark. New eyes, new money, and new interest have sunk their teeth into reinvigorating the old monument. And while the mundane citizens, the sleepers, carry on with their waking dreams, the awakened of the city have toiled to rebuild what was destroyed. The node that once thrived in the heart of the Biltmore has gone quiet, a dying heartbeat desperately trying to pump its blood so that life might carry on. Pocket nodes have popped up around the city, tiny burning embers in the dark and cold of what little bit of cold Miami does get. A pack of lupines have allowed an ambassador to visit the node, or cairn as they call it, in Tropical Park once a month. An arrangement has been reached with the current caretaker in charge of the Vizcaya Museum and Gardens. And in the south, Metro Zoo has a monthly special evening event that had been planned for donators. All of this is thanks to Bashir Toussaint. He is the one that has kind of picked up the pieces that Daniel Byron Thatcher has unfortunately left on the floor of the Biltmore. But today is Friday, October 25th, 1985, and most of the city is gearing up to celebrate Halloween this weekend. The party atmosphere is growing, music fills the evening streets, Coconut Grove has its bar scene in full monsters and mayhem mode, and the annual costume ball at the Vizcaya is gearing up to be grander than even last year. And from the rumors, worth every bit of the steep $100 cover entrance donation, air quotes emphasized. The music, the laughter, the excitement, these aren't the only things lingering over Biscayne Bay, or under it. The events of the 12th night bombing were only the first of few dominoes that have started to fall. Long forgotten, abandoned gears have begun to churn. Plans that have been centuries in the making are unfolding in earnest, and the city sits unaware, quietly poised for a weekend that will go down in history. But history has been written by the victors, and I wonder, what side of victory will our new cast of Awakened be on? So we find a few of you out in the streets of Miami. Power stations, some like it hot, can be heard from one of the open windows on the cars driving by on Miracle Mile. I say driving, but really it's a slow crawl. It's hot in the early morning. Too hot, really, but you are in Miami. This is the norm. The smell of cafecito wafts in the air. Businesses have begun to really shell out their Halloween gear. And across the street from a struggling small mom and pop cafeteria, a familiar face suddenly becomes visible in the John Martin's pub window. This is a familiar face to Anita. It is the face of, and for a moment you're not sure, but could that be Anastasia Alder? And why is she looking at you so intently? The music in the cafeteria is low. It's a little bit of Celia Cruz, a little Spanish mambo. But everything kind of starts to take a back seat as you and her lock eyes. And there's a smirk that comes over her face. Who is an Anastasia? Describe her to us.
I'm trying to remember. remember correctly, Anastasia is she's like my I have my notes on this and I don't have them up. I'm so bad. Sorry. She was in my background. I cannot remember who she was. I apologize. Took me off guard here. She is. Wow. Now I can't find my notes. Sweet.
This is how I like to start. How do you picture her though? Like, what does she look like?
I'm trying to remember. She's she one of the other witches?
She is an elder.
Okay, that's not good. So she has black hair. And she is kind of she's got kind of like that she's not skinny, she's not fat, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. She's about like 5'3", somewhere at 5'2", 5'3". She's always gonna tell people she's 5'3" though. So she has like really blue eyes. So sometimes they look kind of extremely blue. Sometimes they look almost like gray. They're so blue. Yeah. She is white. I apologize. Yes. So she is Caucasian.
Okay. So she definitely is somebody from your past. She just kind of is the last person you would expect to see out here, given that you've spent a few years on the road. You've gone as far south as the U.S. as you can, which is Key West. You've seen the concrete marker that states that from that point on, it's 90 miles to Cuba, and making your way back towards the heartland. Anastasia is probably one of the last people I imagine you would want to see.
I would be wondering why I would be seeing her, considering I didn't think she had any interest in necessarily coming this far south. So
do you think this is something that would pull you towards her?
I would go outside to verify if it's her or not.
Okay.
Because if it is, then I guess I just want to be like, see what she's doing. So,
all right. As you start to make your way out of the little cafe, a 1981 Pontiac Trans Am, black with the gold Firebird of the Smokey and the Bandit kind of logo, suddenly swerves as a car pulls out, trying to merge onto traffic. Is Lydia the kind of person that would honk their horn?
She would mutter something under her breath, but she wouldn't honk her horn.
Okay.
And son of a bitch.
It's weird. The man in the car is eyeballing you the whole time that he's pulling into traffic. And it's very reminiscent of your college sweetheart.
Am I able to pull forward in front of this guy?
The way the traffic has stopped at the red light, he's half into the lane, half in his parking spot. So you are kind of T-boning him at an angle.
She gives a real coy grin and flips him off.
Excellent. There's a moment where he's taken aback and then he starts to really look at you like he knows you.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna address this, or do you want to let him linger?
If he doesn't move his
thoughts?
fucking car out of the way, he's about to get fucking T-boned. Because I have somewhere to be.
You do. You are on your way to rehearsal.
Yes, I am.
And as the light turns green, the car in front of him starts to move. you see him get out of his car. And he puts his hands on his hips and kind of looks in your direction. And he just yells out, "Liddy?"
Always the worst fucking timing. And she basically maneuvers her car out and goes into traffic.
You hear honking going on as the car behind you and in the other lane was unexpectant of your sudden maneuver. And you see him start to chase down your car.
He can chase it all at once.
And as this is happening, walking out of the Woolworth across the street with some new ideas, with some new supplies, and with a new Megadeth tape in his Walkman, we see Alistair King. What are some of the things that you think that you've picked up in a Woolworth to help you?
Well, obviously batteries. So my Iowa cassette player doesn't die in the middle of this new fucking awesome album that everyone's been talking about. This new band, Megadeth. Probably would have gotten some different pencils and probably some like art supplies, just to kind of practice some of his art, like practice some tattoo designs.
Okay. As you are heading towards the bus stop, crossing the intersection, as it's suddenly turning red again, you see a young girl, maybe late teens, early 20s, and for some reason, you get the feeling that this is probably what Sarah would have looked like at this age. And it starts to dredge up some memories.
Alistair will just kind of shake his head a little bit, just not quite sure if this is some fucking lingering effect of whatever the fuck he took last night. Or what, but he'll do like a double take and then just kind of look. It's like there's no fucking way she would be in Miami of all places.
What is the last memory you have of her, do you think?
I mean, she would have been, small kid. I've probably, the last time I saw her would have been maybe 10 years ago. She was a kid then. Yeah. She's definitely, I can see it, especially, she's got the cheeks.
Yeah.
The eyes, but there's no way she's here.
Yeah.
Like there's no way mom and dad would have let her come here.
Yeah. A gust of wind picks up. The hair is blown away from her face and she kind of turns to look in your direction. There's a moment where the two of you lock eyes and she smiles. There's a warm, familial smile on her face.
So my immediate question then is, does she have like, so when she was little, she had a little like crack in her tooth. And that's how that as she smiles, that'll be the first thing he looks for to see if it's still there, if it's her.
It is not there, unfortunately.
Okay.
But you
yeah,
also know that dentistry has come a long way.
Yeah, he definitely can't shake it. Like, again, it's just he's not sure if it's, whatever he took last night, maybe the shit he took this morning's kicking in.
There's several avenues that you can relay as to how this is dredging up, especially since it's coming up with not the best of memories. Like you can hear the shouting from the other room. You can hear the ridicule in the old man's voice. But opposite of you, walking towards you at the opposite end of the block, we have this really cool and collected older gentleman walking to meet a possible new contact. Just has the New York Times under one arm, sniffing the café con leche that he just got at the same cafe that Anita is walking out of. And this is John. John's attention is suddenly pulled at the honking of the horn, the Trans Am that revs their engine to kind of pull out this guy that's kind of chasing the car for some reason. And in the car, honking, kind of sticking his fist out the window, impossibly, is Lieutenant Miles Jackson.
Oh, no way.
What does this do for John?
John raises an eyebrow and kind of tilts his head, squints his eyes to make sure he's not seeing a ghost.
There's a moment where, in the reflection of the dress shop that is currently next to you, you can see your reflection. You can see some of the people that have stopped to look at the car being chased by this strange man yelling out a woman's name, Lydia. And you can see there's an extra reflection. Just that faceless, shadowed staff sergeant, Gunny. You hear it in your head. That son of a bitch has got to pay. Right?
Hmm.
That's the deal, Baker.
That's the deal. Right now ain't the time, though.
Oh, you want to tell that to Miller? You want to tell that to Cooper? You want to tell that to Davis?
Yeah, you make it seem like I forgot.
Lights turning red. Good as ever.
And I grit my teeth. Then I start walking towards him.
As you do, there's a sudden tear. There's the sensation of the very air around you just being torn, like if you had grabbed two sides of a piece of fabric and were tearing it asunder. You can sense it. Anita can sense it. Something is pulling on the Tellurian, and it's pulling hard. And it is one of those things where you don't even have to actively sense it to know that it's happening. And as it washes over you and you feel the threads of reality just try to force themselves back to how they're supposed to be, you see the man chasing this Trans Am. Lydia sees it in the rear view. You see Lieutenant Miles Jackson. Alistair sees this imitation of Sarah. Anita sees a moment where it looks like Anastasia glitches. Like she becomes almost black and white, and then she returns to color. But everybody else on the street is suddenly eviscerated and just becomes this pillar of viscera, musculature, and blood as they explode violently, but also contained, almost cylindrical, almost very perfectly vulgar.
John drops his paper and his coffee and ducks for cover. This looks way too familiar.
I start slapping myself trying to fucking wake up.
Okay. Anita? How are you reacting?
Anita's just kind of like, what the fuck? But she kind of starts running towards at Anastasia because she's like in disbelief because she almost wants to just go and touch her to see if everything else is also real.
What is Lydia doing?
She slams on brakes.
Okay.
And is like, and literally turns back.
There is the thud of something on the trunk of the car. It might have been a hand, but he is gone. He was there 1 second. He's not there now. Sarah's gone. Miles is gone. The only one that survived, quote unquote, is Anastasia. And she starts to run. Everybody else there's people screaming that were standing next to these people. The car that Miles was in has continued driving forward and has come hitting one of the medians. It is chaos. And as people are running around, people are yelling and there's the few people that are kind of trying to get control of the situation. You notice that one man in particular has kind of just been scanning the whole street from the crosswalk. He's got this white dress shirt with the sleeves kind of rolled up just underneath the elbow. He's got a pinstripe gray and blue vest that has the top two buttons open, a tie that matches the vest. It's kind of undone slightly. The top button of his shirt is also undone. He has slacks, almost khaki-like. Interesting, soft, kind of brown shoes that have the white, classic 20s look to them. And it's almost like he's taking note of what's happened and how people are reacting.
I would like to use Prime 1 to see if there is a magical aura around him.
I would like to do the same.
Ree, you don't have Prime.
Yes, I do.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Did I not get the right spheres in? I am.
Doesn't say, don't worry, I don't.
Yeah. It's not
I
like you're
told you
good
I would accomplish
hermetic.
it, and I accomplished it. Yes, I do have Prime 1.
You got Prime 1. You win this round. All right. So let's have the two of you roll your arete. It is coincidental. Nobody's really paying attention. It's hard to make that a vulgar effect, so it's going to be a difficulty 4. Do you two have any focuses for Prime?
No.
No? So then it's going to be difficulty 5 for both of you.
I actually will start fondling the crystal swan on my keychain.
Oh. Then that will lower your difficulty to 4.
Thank you.
1 success.
All you need.
Yeah, that's 2 10s.
Okay. With Prime 1, you also would have noticed the tear in the Tellurian. And as you and Ben both kind of reach out and shift your vision, you kind of blink hard once or twice, you do see that he is starting to cast something. He's gathering threads on the Tellurian, and it looks like they're stretching out towards you in particular. One is stretching out towards Lydia, one is stretching out towards Ben. You see 2 others that are stretching out towards individuals that you don't recognize.
Is it possible to use, I want to say it's Mind 2 on this guy to see like what his surface thoughts are? Like what is it he's thinking about specifically?
Yeah, you can do that with Mind 1.
Well, so I know like sense thoughts is that, but like reading them, I think
So
is
you wanna
two.
actually like get his actual train of thought, not like his top feelings.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that will be mine too. Do you have a focus for mind?
Probably not. If he does it, it wouldn't be here. He wasn't planning on this happening.
Yeah. It's not vulgar. He's the only one that's really affected by it. So it's going to be a total of difficulty 5.
And then what am I rolling? Sorry.
It is your arete.
Okay. And then my mind.
No, just the arete.
Just the irritate? Okay. 2 successes.
Okay. You reach out and you can sense that he is trying to figure out what's going on, why these people were hurt in the process, why there's 4 awakened in the area besides him that he doesn't know. And he's trying to figure out if one of you was responsible for this.
So he thinks one of us did it. So my understanding is that he didn't do it.
Mm.
Okay. At that point, I'm going to look to see who he's looking at, just to try to get a sense of, because if he's scanning and focusing on specific people, I want to try to figure out who he is looking at.
He's got an image of you in his mind. He's got an image of Lydia. He's got an image of John, and he's got an image of Anita. Lydia and Alistair, both of you have mind. So both of you are going to sense him trying to peek into your surface thoughts. Would you like to allow it, or would you like to counter magic it?
Lydia will allow it. She is innocent in this. Can she read his expression at all while this is happening?
It is...
Is he too far away? Does she need to like park and move closer?
He does have some foliage in between you and him. If you get out of the car, you could make a perception alertness
I'm
check.
going to do that. I'm going to basically park and get out and make a perception check.
Yep.
Perception alertness, you said?
Perception alertness. Difficulty 6.
Okay. That is 3 successes.
Okay. He has equal looks of concern, worry, excitement, but definitely the big facial features are leaning towards fear.
Okay. Yeah, she's not going to counter magic it.
Yep. Right, what about Alistair?
As soon as he knows that the guy is suspecting him, I want to see with Mind 2, could I like... So my understanding of Mind 2 is that I can do like a 1-word sort of like mental reply to him. To which I would just say innocent.
Okay.
And then like once I feel like it's either like he's got some reaction to it, either he's resisting or responding to it, then I'm going to immediately look for the other people whose faces I saw in his head, and I'm looking for them.
Okay. If you're still looking at his aura, it is definitely an orange hue. And there's gray streaks that come out of it. And there's a little bit of dark red. But it is very bright, very strong. You can definitely tell that he is an awakened. And the two of you, especially after you give him your one-word response, all of you simultaneously hear, "Come to me."
Oh, Lydia's already making her way towards him.
Because
it's rude to be poking around in people's minds, you know?
Yeah.
So Alistair will walk towards him, like with his hands out, clearly nothing in them.
Yep.
His like the bag of stuff that he's got has kind of like slipped down his arm and it's around like his elbow, but he's just like walking like this, clearly has nothing in his hands, not making any effort to like be of any risk to him. Clearly walking straight towards him.
Anita and John both hear this voice say, "Come to me," and then an image of what this man looks like.
Is that a request or a compulsion?
It's a request. It's not a compulsion in any way, shape, or form.
All right.
Like he's just, you can sense in your mind that he's just trying to get the message across.
Okay. John's going to stand up from where he was ducking behind a car or a newspaper box or whatever, and slowly make his way towards the man. One hand in what's the word I'm looking for? Surreptitiously sliding into the inside of his coat, where one of his shoulder holsters is.
Okay. What of Anita? She gonna go chasing Anastasia?
Anita kind of slows down some when she hears this voice and sees this face in her head, but she's going to actually respond with just verbally. She's going to yell out, "Anastasia, stop!" But she just wants to see if she'll stop.
The shape of this young girl ducks into an alley between buildings. She's not stopping.
She kind of looks around for a second and she keeps on chasing. She's going to keep on going. She's going to keep on going, but she's going to start mumbling under her breath, asking if Falling Leaves can get up on top of the building and look down in the alleyway to keep eyes on her.
There is a trill noise in your ear and it immediately swoops up off your shoulder and begins to take flight.
Once if I can get around into the alleyway, I actually want to augment my stamina with life so that I don't have to like slow down. I can basically just not making myself faster, but making it so that I don't have to like on my legs, like, or my lungs. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. You're going to improve yourself using life too, which is definitely in the purview of that sphere, in that level. Do you have a focus for your life magic?
Yeah, the tattoo she has that runs on the inside of her arm is her focus.
Excellent. So you start to trace your finger across it or think of it, whatever you do to help you focus on life. And no one's around, so it is going to count as vulgar without witnesses. So it's going to be a difficulty 6.
Okay.
Difficulty 5. Sorry.
No, I don't know how to do this. So how many dice do I roll? What do I do?
So you're going to roll your arete,
Okay.
which is 2,
2 dice. Yep.
and 5 or higher counts as a success.
2 successes.
Okay. So you definitely augment your lungs to take in more oxygen, to produce it, to handle it more efficiently. You find yourself kind of speeding up as your legs, now the musculature of them hardens and softens when it needs to in a much more energy efficient way. You catch up as you see her finishing this chalkboard, this chalk line doorway on a wall. And she just kind of looks at you. And with this cocked look, she hisses at you. And in Latin, she calls you a traitor.
Just talk to me, Anastasia. I am no traitor. I mean, you can keep on running, I guess, but I'd rather you just talk to me. Like, what's going on? Why the fuck are you in Miami?
The sisters will hear of this. And she goes through the door.
I'm gonna run over to the doorway just to see what it looks like.
It looks like just a brick wall with a chalk door that's been drawn onto it.
She's gonna kind of whistle so that fallen leaves will come back to her, and she's not gonna run or jog. She's gonna actually start walking back the way she came to start looking for this face of this man she saw in her head. So
okay. The other 3 have gone across the street, gone over to the cafe that Anita started this whole journey on. And the gentleman has ordered everybody a soda, a water, or anything that they'll need to kind of go through the discussion with him. But he introduces himself as Professor Elias Vilden. He is, as he starts divvying out the orders, I was unfortunately not around when the Biltmore was attacked, but I was sure that there was a lack of awakened in the city. It is interesting to see that there are 4 of you that are unaccounted for on the ledger. How long have you been in the city, if I may ask?
What ledger?
There is a book, a kind of hotel ledger, as it has the names of the awakened in the city.
6 months.
Well, Professor, you got a mighty odd way of getting our attention. Your handiwork? It says.
And then, like, as Alistair is still there, kind of like with his hands up, as soon as Lydia, like, he'll kind of nod to her and just like, same. And then look over at John. I think he's telling the truth. I don't think it was him.
Well, considering the fact that we're not looking like that mess outside, I'm inclined to agree with you. But I just wanted to make that clear. I've been in the city about 8 months myself.
Mostly new faces then. This checks out. It seems that as a member of the Euthanatos that I do not question fate when her hand is so heavy-handed. But it seems that all of you have been brought together for a reason. I would like to help find out what that reason is, if you will allow me.
Alistair will lower his hands and kind of catch the bag before it slides off. What kind of help?
We used to have a node that was located at the Biltmore. You might have heard of this explosion that happened early last year. It has led our chantry to be less efficient. It is dying, if I could be frank with you. I think all of this is connected in some way, shape, or form to that incident. What do the three of you know? And as he says that, the door chime goes off and Anita has joined the group. At this point, could I have everybody describe your characters to each other so you know what you look like?
John's about 6'3". Kind of classical features. He's in his mid 30s. 5 o'clock shadow. Wearing black sport coat, white shirt. Every now and then, if the coat opens, you notice there's shoulder holsters under it. Kind of a medium build, but he's in shape. But there's a weird kind of stoop to his shoulders, as if he just has a lot of stuff that he's carrying around with him. If that makes sense. Gray eyes, and when he looks at people, he kind of holds a stare for a second too long.
Lydia decided to sit next to the metalhead with the bag on his arm. She is about 5'7", lithe, has a dancer's physique, mid-20s. She's got just below shoulder length, layered black hair, olive green eyes, fair skin, and she has a look of severe concern on her face. She's a relatively attractive woman, not drop-dead gorgeous or anything, but attractive.
Alistair is 5'9", about 175, 180-ish pounds. A bit of a Midwestern accent. Shoulder length, brown hair. Like a dull blue, almost gray eyes. Wearing a Metallica t-shirt. And sort of like grungy, ripped up jeans, Chuck Taylors, and has a bag of what appears to be art supplies, which is kind of off. And he's sitting next to so he's mid-20s, but could be a little older. Looks like he's partied a little too hard, and he may be starting to show it a little bit. He's got that look in his eyes that are a little fuzzy, which means he's either still on something or coming off of something. But he has a black like fanny pack to the side, and he opens it up, pulls out a cigarette, kind of offers the pack to Lydia, like offering her one if she wants one. So he'll pull one out, put the pack back in his thing, pull the lighter out and start smoking it. Yeah, he looks like an 80s metalhead.
And Lydia's actually in a black leotard. She's got cut-off jean shorts over top of it, and she's wearing a pink mesh shirt over the leotard with just some black sandals on her feet.
So as Anita walks up to the group, she is a 31-ish looking female, white. She has brownish black hair. She is 5'2". She has a slight tan, like not tan, but more like she's been in the sun some. She's not necessarily beautiful. She's not quote unquote ugly. She is more homely. So she's just kind of, I don't know, slightly nondescript, but not at the same time. She has gray eyes, and she is just kind of wearing kind of like a long skirt, and it's kind of like a slight sweatshirty thing on. So
Okay. As the five of you are now gathered, you see the professor again kind of nod to you. I appreciate your arrival. I thought that we had lost you.
Wait. Lost us.
Her in particular.
Oh.
no. What sometimes being lost means you wandered too far off the trail, but no, I was trying to catch up with somebody. Your request, sorry, did not take precedence.
I understand. As I was telling the others here, I believe that I am not one to look fate in the gift she has given, and I believe that the four of you have been gathered here for a specific reason. As a euthanatos myself, I feel like I am beholden to be your guide if you will allow it. I don't feel like this is a singular incident.
You mean to say this happened elsewhere too at the same time?
I believe so. The pull on the Tellurian was much too powerful for four bodies to simply just cease to be.
Well, not to put too fine a point on it, and this whole circle of kumbaya is real nice and all, but you want us to help you? What form of that help we're going to take, and what kind of compensation are we going to be looking at here? Because as much as I like to do some charity work here and there, my time is money.
I understand, and I would not be asking you to just give your time freely. Unfortunately, on me, I have very little in the way of compensation. But if I could have some time, perhaps I could get 2 vials of tests for each of you to get things started, at least.
As soon as John would have started like mentioning money, like in that traditional like half stoned, half just, this guy looks like everything Alistair hates. And so like as he's smoking the cigarette, like he's watching him, and as soon as he mentions like being paid, he just scoffs at him. Doesn't say anything, but it's just kind of one of those, it's just like, of course, it's always about fucking money.
Yep.
John glances over at Alistair, holds his gaze for a minute, no expression on his face, and then turns back to the professor.
Oh, Alistair will or look him straight in the eyes. He is not sorry. He is not ashamed.
Unfortunately, we do not have access to the Biltmore like we used to. And new investors have taken it over, and unfortunately, Mr. Thatcher is currently in an institution to help him reacclimate to normal life, as it were. Could we perhaps meet somewhere? How far does everyone live? Is Coral Gables or the Grove too far?
No, that's fine.
It's all the same.
Either works.
Give me some directions.
Excellent. There is a small park just when you are coming into Coconut Grove that has some residual primal energy that we can siphon there. Should be at the point of the month where we can tap it again. Shall we say we can meet there tomorrow? Would that work for you, everyone? Mid-afternoon, early evening, perhaps?
Alistair just throws in the horns.
Lydia
John
nods.
reaches-
She says, that's fine.
John reaches into his inside pocket, pulls out a small book, opens it, flips through a few pages. That'll do. Pulls out a pen, marks it in the book. Time and place,
Alistair scoffs
close
again.
it.
Lydia throws an elbow into Alistair's side.
I'll be sure to find my way there.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing you all again then. I will be contacting the others of my cabal. I assure you, we don't mean you any harm. We are, if anything, more than excited to see more awakened among us here in the city. After the events of the 12th night bombing, it has been rather difficult to continue the work that we should be doing. He gets up after a moment, kind of just nodding, and then starts to walk out.
Well then, come out for a paper, and here we are.
Alistair
John, by the
takes-
way.
Alistair will take the last drag off of his cigarette, like throw the butt on the ground, stomp it out with his foot. But he does this weird thing where, like, as soon as the ember's out, like he'll pick up the butt and hold on to it.
You actually see Lydia crack a smile at that. We didn't get a chance to introduce ourselves to each other. I'm Lydia Thompson.
John
He'll-
Baker.
Alistair will look over at Lydia, totally not responding to John. Alistair King.
Mr. Baker, it's a pleasure to meet you. Mr. King,
Pleasure's mine.
and you are?
I am Anita Maple, just a humble wanderer.
Well, Miss Maple, it's a pleasure. I'm actually late for a rehearsal. Hopefully the people at the rehearsal didn't go kaboom. And hopefully I still have a gig. So, if you need me, you can call the Golden Gecko. That is my establishment. So, you can reach me there.
Sorry, I came in too late. Who was Suit Guy?
Oh, that was Professor Elias Bilden.
Bilden?
Bilden.
Okay. Takes all kinds.
All kinds. All
one
kinds
one of at least 5 people who didn't just explode.
Yeah. And 5 people that didn't cause it?
Speaking of which, someone going to clean street chunks up, or should I just start walking to get the hell out of here? Because I'm not hearing sirens and stuff. I'm
gonna take a look out the window to see if anybody else is out there like doing any kind of cleanup. You're muted.
Oh, Rav bend it.
I bend it. I was looking at his name in chat too, and I was like, "This motherfucker." Yes. As you turn around to look out towards the street, you notice that its life is normal. Nobody's kind of gathered around. People are driving around the parked Trans Am. But otherwise, nobody's really doing anything about what just happened.
Is there still evidence of what just happened?
I was going to ask that.
No.
Okay.
If you go outside, you notice that all of the kind of cylindrical piles are gone.
I'm sure in this cafe or diner or whatever it is, there is a clock. Is the time correct, or has it been reset?
Given that you have time.
So do I.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah.
There's a lot of overlap at this table.
And unlike first season, you actually have Prime.
Yes.
It's easy enough to sense that the clock and your internal clocks are off.
It's been cleaned. I can feel it. All right. Well, I have a gig to go practice for.
I got a call I need to make.
Have fun. Yeah, I need to start walking so I can be there tomorrow, and I also need to make a phone call. So
see you all tomorrow then.
Mm-hmm.
And as Lydia gets into her car and starts to drive off, we hear the first chorus of Starships We Built This City kick up. And as you go off to your rehearsal, everybody goes their own way, you will find out that news reports say that there were 10 sudden deaths, strange occurrences of spontaneous combustion that happened over the city. And they warn people about the safety hazards of dehydration and keeping yourselves hydrated, staying out, even though it does feel a little bit cooler, that the temperatures are still kind of nationally on a high rise. But they have named the 6 victims as just ordinary people from different parts of the city. There's a construction worker, a waitress, a teacher's assistant, a tattoo artist, a musician, and a college professor. But the next day comes along. Everybody goes. Go ahead.
Real quick, like as Lydia's driving off, like when he would have gone to make his phone call, he would have he'll reach like into his pocket where the cigarette butt is, and he's like throwing it in the garbage.
sorry. And did you say we're moving on to the next day?
Unless you have something to do.
No. I did want to make a phone call real quick.
Okay. Sure.
I also wanted to ask a question about any of the named people.
Sure.
Were any of them familiar?
The tattoo artist would have been familiar to you, and maybe the musician.
Okay.
Were any of them? Did any of them spontaneously combust in the area that we're in now, or they're all in different parts of the city?
No, they were all in different parts of the city. Only the 4 that were gathered there for you 3, because Anastasia did not blow up. Only the 3 that were there that blew up are the ones that were in the area. The other 6 were around the city. So who is Anita calling?
Anita wants to call back home and see if her mom is like, ask her mom what's going on. She's almost half expecting to not get a pickup. She's just, she's just gonna ring and she's gonna hang up. So
You see about the 5th ring in, the phone picks up. It's a heavy, deeper voice that you recognize as being your father's.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hello?
Dad, it's me, Anita. I was just calling to check in.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. I thought I saw somebody and I wasn't sure, and I just thought it's a good time to call in, check in, make sure you guys are okay.
Well, I am. Your mom's sick though.
She's sick? Like,
Yeah.
how?
Yeah, her stuff ain't working. Like she's telling me what to do. I don't have the gift that you have. So I think it's error in translation from, me to it, I guess you could say. I'm trying.
Okay.
Time, Annie, and
Uh,
it's getting worse.
she's
Where
getting
are
worse.
you?
I'm in Miami.
As far as hell.
It's not as far as I've been, Dad.
You bringing anything back?
No, I can't come home just yet. She's going to like slowly rattle off a recipe for some sort of kind of like general cure-all that she knows. It's like the traditional stuff, not her new stuff. Try that, Dad. See if she gets any better. I will call you back in a day or two. If she doesn't get any better in a day or two, please contact one of the others. We've got the aunts and uncles.
Are you safe?
Yeah, I'm safe. I thought I saw somebody, and so I thought it was a good reminder to just call back. So
Was it Ophelia Oaks?
no, I haven't seen Ophelia.
Oh.
I saw Anastasia, I think, but I don't
That's
know.
weird.
Yeah. Look,
That's odd. The Oaks house burnt down not too long ago, but the Alders seem to be on the up and up. One of their family members just died and left them an estate up in Maine.
well, that's good fortune for them then, I guess. But I'm sorry to hear about the house burning. Just like I said, if Mom isn't doing better in a couple days, before I call back, reach out to one of the others.
All right, sure.
I'll call you in a couple days.
Are you gonna be safe?
Yeah, I'll be fine. The meter's gonna run out. You know how these things are. These payphones, Dad. I gotta let you go.
Yeah, okay.
Love you.
Love you too.
Nita hangs up and starts walking.
All right. Who else wanted to do a phone call? Or
Alistair did.
Alistair, who you calling?
So he's gonna like rummage through his pockets, pull out money for the payphone. And for like a split second, he gets that I should call and make sure Sarah's okay. But then immediately he's like, that part of my life is done. He would probably even go so far as to use time 2 future sight just to see if he were to call, if it would go well.
Ooh. Do you have a focus for time?
So on his left hand, he has like a small tattoo of a hornet. And he would use that as the focus. And if anyone were to pay attention, it clearly looks not professional. Like, but yeah, he has like, it's a very small one on his hand, and he would use that.
Okay. Nobody's really paying attention to you. It can be a coincidental effect because it is only one of the paths that you might be available to you. So we'll say it's going to be a difficulty 4.
Okay.
So it'll be 5 minus 1 for the focus.
And same thing, roll the 2 arete.
Yep. Roll your 2 arete.
2 successes.
You hold your hand to the phone. You can picture yourself dialing each of the numbers in sequence. You can imagine your father answering the phone and immediately talking about how they're better off without you, how who knows where you are today, who knows if you're even eating, like if you've thrown your life away to this idea of making yourself some tattoo artist that people are going to go to. And you can hear David's voice in the background. There's a pleading for him to kind of calm down. And you hear the heavy thwap. And you know exactly what that is. And there's a moment where you just pick up the phone and you just slam it into the receiver. And you come out of your vision to the sound of that heavy plastic hitting that metallic cradle.
He like lean his head against, like, you know how they have like the little like out or like shelving or whatever the fuck. Like he almost kind of like reactionarily leans his head against it. Just out of sort of like closing his eyes, trying to take a second. And then as soon as he calms, he'll pull the change out of his pocket. And he'll dial the number for Victor in Chicago.
Okay. Where is Victor from? Did we discuss that?
I know it was in my stuff. I don't know if it ever came up, but that would be the tattoo artist that also is kind of his mentor. On
but
the
is he American? Is he like from
he's American. He's American.
West.
He was from like the city.
Okay, so no twang.
No.
All right. Is he also a metalhead? Is he the one that got you into the metal scene?
He got me into the tattooing specifically. Alistair had always kind of grown up with art. But specifically, like he was the one that got him sort of like his first gig as an apprentice. But then turns out he's also awakened. So he was kind of his mentor in that as well.
Okay. Couple rings and you hear the phone pick up. You hear the heavy drag of a cigarette being pulled and then the exhalation. Yeah, Victor, what's up?
Was I supposed to sign some fucking book when I got here?
Oh, what? Is this Al?
Yeah, it's Al.
Book.
I get here and some shit happens and some dude's talking to me about some fucking book I need to put my name into.
What?
Is that normal?
No. Like Charlotte's Web book? What the fuck?
I don't know. It's some fucking. It said it's like a hotel, like one of the things you fucking sign.
Who uses that anymore? Is it the Wild fucking West down there?
I just want to make sure that I didn't fucking miss something.
No. I've never heard of that.
Okay, I just want to make sure this isn't some fucking shit we didn't go over.
Are you joining a cult? I warned you about cults. Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Why the fuck did I call you Victor?
Because I'm helpful.
I'll see you when I come back.
Okay.
All right, bye.
He hangs up.
And Alistair will pull another cigarette out of his fanny pack, light it up, and pretty much take the entire fucking thing in like one or two drags, because between the vision and Victor being Victor, he is not as happy as he could be right now. But before he walks away, while he's still kind of in that little phone booth, he sits the brand new Megadeth tape, pulls it out of the fucking package, puts that fucking the tape in, throws his headphones on, hits play, walks off.
All right. And if nobody else has anything to do this evening.
I actually do.
Okay.
Lydia ended up leaving rehearsal early. She was not able to stay focused on it. Too much shit going on in her head. When she got back to her place, she actually called her mother.
Okay. She will pick up very soft kind of voice. Seems like she's been sleeping almost. There's a bit of a tiredness to her voice, but she picks up and she's like, "Hello,
Mama."
Oh, Liddy. How are you?
It's been a crazy day. You okay?
Yeah, just tired.
That's not normal for you. You're usually a little bundle of energy.
Yeah. Your dad's out at the grocer's getting me some tea.
All right, well, you take care of yourself and don't be getting sick now.
No. Built like a horse.
I know you are. Did you tell Eric I was down here?
No, I haven't seen Eric in a couple of years now.
Yeah, because I haven't talked to him in like 3.5.
I think he talked to your brother, I think maybe like a month ago, 2 months ago.
Oh, shit.
But he hasn't called here, no.
Okay. You sure you're okay, Mama?
Yeah, you all right?
I will be.
Is your studio doing all right?
Yeah, it's doing fine. It's doing fine. It's growing. Got more people coming in, and actually got a couple that are interested in learning so that they could do it themselves, and I might take them on as apprentices. But so I'm hoping it's looking good. All right.
Yeah, I thought of you the other day because the last of the swans have up and left for winter.
Well, down here it's hotter than hell.
Send some of that up here.
If I could, I would, Mama. If I could, I would.
Ball it up, sweetheart.
Well, I love you. And you take care of yourself, okay?
You too. I love you.
All right, bye-bye. And she hangs up the phone.
No.
She's not going to call her brother tonight.
That's a good conversation to have.
So instead, she's going to basically spend her evening meditating.
Okay. It is rough as the name and image of the tattoo artist and the musician keep bubbling up to the surface thoughts. And even though the tattoo artist was single, you know that she was seeing a couple guys on the side, and you know that you introduced her to one of them in particular. The musician, though, always had a smile on his face, always was trying to make people happy, and you know that he was engaged, and that he loved his work before the bar that he worked at was kind of shut down by a branch of the Russian mob that didn't like his boss in particular. But he would always talk about the limelight as one of his favorite jobs because he got to do what he wanted to do. And now he's left his girl. The tattoo artist has left a hole in the hearts of the people that she kind of helped out. And you try as you might, you just can't find peace today.
I will let this experience wash over me. I will feel it and learn from it.
And as the evening wraps up and everybody goes about their business, takes care of what they need to take care of, calls what they have to call, learn what they need to learn, we shift to the next day. And I think this is a good time to take a few moments, relax, and step away from the table, take our break.
All right, so everyone, we will be back very shortly. We're going to take a 10-minute break. You can get up and have yourself a bio break if you need it, get a drink, get a snack. Join us in just a few minutes, and I want to give a quick shout out to those who have bumped us over $400 this evening for Game Pink with National Breast Cancer Foundation. Thank you so much to Mickey Bear, and thank you so much to Astral for your contributions this evening. We really appreciate you and love you so much, and thank you for providing money to help others that need it. Thank you so much. We'll be right back, guys. And we are live.
Ooh, boy. Welcome back from the break. I hope you all took some time because we are definitely hitting the ground running. And the next day, we find the group doing whatever they're doing on their way to meeting with Professor Elias Vilden. In the morning, as wakefulness is starting to claim Alistair, there's a haze in the room. And there's something slithering under the covers of your bed. There is this familiar snake-like shape that suddenly comes up onto your chest, and there's no weight to it. And as it comes up, you can see the familiar face of this. What do you picture it? Is it one of those Chinese kind of longs, or is it more like a English winged dragon?
I imagine it would probably be more like, I don't know, I think for Alistair it would almost be this majestic, like dragon, like badass dragon you would see on like a heavy metal cover.
Okay. It comes up, sits back on its haunches, and then just lets out this fog of a breath that just reminds you of weed. The scent of marijuana is strong in the room.
Alistair would probably instinctually just like almost try to get like that puff pass sort of thing where it's just try to inhale the smoke.
You do. And it looks down at you and it just kind of puts its forehead to yours. Things are going to get weird.
And in response back, all Alistair will say is brutal.
It sits back up. It takes its four-fingered clawed hand, gives you the equivalent of the horns, and then as it comes crashing down onto your form, you wake up. And sitting in the ashtray next to your bed is a lit joint that has been going for a bit now and has filled the room with just that smooth marijuana scent.
Oh, it's not going to be there for long. So as I'm finishing off that bad boy, Alistair will just kind of be like, walking around his place. Probably at this point has, the stereo on. I would imagine, he's still probably after the fucking Iowa tried to eat his fucking Megadeth tape. He fucking sat there with the pencil and just, very carefully fucking wound that thing. But once it was back in serviceable condition, thank goodness, he's probably just going to leave that tape for now in the stereo.
Smart choice.
And so he's probably got that playing. It's probably still wearing the jeans from yesterday, because he's probably too lazy to take them off. And then he'll go through the pile of like heavy metal t-shirts that he has. Pick one. It might have been the one yesterday. He doesn't remember. But very specifically, he'll go, like once he's got clothes on, he'll open up like the fanny pack and specifically like sit out everything that's in the bag, to make sure that he's got everything that he's going to need for the day. So he's got pencils. He's got like a small sort of like artisan notepad with blank paper inside of it, a small bottle of ink, one of those like little 3-blade, like folding, like knives, and then cigarettes, lighter, pretty much stuff like if he needs to draw on, while he's out and about, he can.
Yeah.
Like I said, pencils. He's got like a pencil sharpener, like one of those little square ones that you just fucking ratchet.
Yep.
And then the one thing that he didn't have in there that he is going to make sure to grab before he leaves, like once he knows everything's in there, he'll pack it away. Is he'll grab like a little, almost pewter, maybe silver, skull ring. And he'll put it on, and then he'll, make sure he's got cash on him because he'll probably end up taking a cab.
Okay. As we shift from you handling your daily routine, moving on from your interaction with your avatar, we see a very different avatar. This is an older woman, revered, definitely somebody that has lived a good, happy life. They're in a rocking chair. They have their hair kind of white, maybe a few streaks of black still lingering, fighting to remind everyone of the life that existed before all this gray hair. Very kind, gray eyes. And in her lap is this adorable, curled up red fox. And we see Anita waking up in a bed of leaves. The familiar sights of the apple orchards in Salem, not too far from where she grew up. Maybe on the border of the Oaks family house and the Birch family estate. She's humming a song. What do you think it is?
It sounds like sounds kind of like Ring Around the Rosie, but not.
Okay.
It sounds like a couple different like little bits of things, and I don't know. It's hard to describe.
She's very warm as she quietly wakes you up. And as you do start to stir from your slumber, she puts down the red fox on the ground and it comes over and nuzzles next to you. You have to be careful, girl, moving forward. Things are connected, interconnected, and randomness is not a factor in your life anymore. Understand?
I think so, but I don't at the same time. I have so many questions now, and I don't know.
She pushes herself up to her feet, and as she does, the landscape changes. You're on a beautiful golden beach. There is this lapping sound of the water. It's not the ocean, though. At least not a full view of the ocean. You can see an island on the horizon. It's a bay. She kind of points out to where the island ends and the real ocean begins. Something's coming. Something bad.
So yesterday was just a precursor.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's not a question you could probably answer, but I was labeled traitor. Is this thing following me? Is it my doing?
She steps towards you and very motherly puts her hands on your face. And she kisses your forehead. You are not a traitor to the bloodline. If anything, you're the first in a long time to be of the true bloodline. Everything your family does, everything the families have done, is an imitation of what you can do, Annie. You're the rightful heir. You have to show them that. By any means necessary.
Well, that's reassuring. But I will try to do my best to earn that position. So
I have faith in you.
thank you.
And so does this little one.
Oh, well,
And
they have been such a good companion, so
Falling Leaves just does his little trill noise as he looks up at you. It looks up at you. I don't think we established a sex for it, and I don't think it needs one. It's a spirit, after all.
Yep.
But it does fill you with a happiness. And as it starts to weave itself around your legs, you come to. And you're back in Miami. You're back wherever you found a place to stay. Whether that be a seedy little motel off of 8th Street or a YMCA. Everything is back where it was.
And Anita is going to utilize the facilities because it's probably a YMCA. She's going to utilize the facilities and pack up what possessions she has, and she's going to head out for the day. She's got to get to this park. So,
Are you leaving the bike? What are you taking?
the bike is partially broken down currently in their parking lot, so she's not taking it with her.
Okay. We'll shift over to a very hot rainforest of a jungle. The sounds of intermittent firing of weapons can be heard in the distance. There are 3 shades with you in the hole. 4 if you count the staff sergeant. He doesn't count. He wasn't there with you. Not like Miller was. Not like Cooper was. Not like Davis was. And you just hear him over you. All right, it's time to move out. You ready for the fight that's coming?
It's gotta be. He looks over his shoulders at the three who were actually there.
And it's just the shadowed outline of their bodies in the last position you saw them in. Almost like the burnt shadows that are very reminiscent of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And the only one that's really there is the staff sergeant.
So what kind of shit did you get me in this time?
Oh. This is all you're doing, boy.
I do.
Yeah. You're the one pulling on the threads of fate. You think it doesn't pull back? You don't think it wants you where it needs you?
Listen, I just want out of this. I told you that from the beginning.
You gotta keep moving forward then.
Keep moving forward. All right. So what does keep moving forward look like, sir?
Well, it definitely isn't the VC anymore. That's for damn sure.
So what about this, what happened yesterday? The bodies that were there and then weren't there. What's up with that?
That's what we gotta figure out. Those people could have been Cooper. Those people could have been Miller. Those people could have been Davis. They were definitely Miller, Cooper, and Davis to somebody else, though, weren't they?
Just want this to be over.
You better gird your loins. Shit's coming. Old shit's coming.
What do you mean by old?
Old. Older than dirt. Older than you. Older than me. It's coming. The waters are churning. Keep your ear to the ground. You hear it.
All right, what about, you got any read on these other three?
I don't give a fuck about them.
Well, you're saying fate's weaving. Obviously, they wove them in with us.
With you, yeah. Either way, I get to be back in the wheel. But you're the one that has to make it happen.
Ain't that just always the way?
You got the gumption, Baker?
Yeah, I got it. As long as it's gonna make it faster for me to get out of this whole mess.
And get the fuck up. And as he says that, the alarm on your kind of nightstand clock goes off. And you're back in your apartment.
John snaps awake, immediately tosses himself out of bed onto the floor, cracks out about 1,000 push-ups, just goes through his morning calisthenic routine. It's the same one he did when he was in the Army. Never gave it up.
The voice is gone. It's just you now. And as you're going through your routine, the thoughts of Charlie Miller, Jimmy Cooper, and Sammy Davis start to fall back to where they exist. In the recesses, in the back seat. Because you know how dangerous it is to think about those kind of things.
Once he finishes his calisthenics, he'll pick up the coin slug that's always on his nightstand that he carries with him all the time. Just your normal coin slug, but it has 4 sets of initials carved into him. His and the other 3. He'll look at the coin for a minute, rub his thumb over it, flip it in the air and catch it. Walk over and put it back on the dresser next to the clothes he has laid out. Continue with his routine, shower, shave, whatever.
Are all four of the initials on the same side?
Yes.
Okay. So that's your tails?
Yep.
The coin lands tail side up.
He looks at it. Okay. Picks it up, flips it again.
Tails.
Third time's a charm. Flips it up. Boom.
Tails.
Tails. What have I gotten myself into? Shakes his head and continues getting ready to go.
Okay. And as we come to Lydia's wakefulness, the weight of the events from the night before, the revelations of her having known or having been in the kind of circles of influence of 2 of the dead bodies, I think really puts a damper on any of the good sleep she would have gotten.
Oh yeah, she slept like shit.
So that even when the warm, wet feeling of the lake near the house you grew up in, even the sensation of the flock of swans that is familiar and warm, everything good about her memory is still not enough. And even one of the swans that comes in and nuzzles against your neck, you can just hear the voice.
She gently strokes the head and down the neck of the swan.
You are troubled.
Very.
More is coming.
Of course.
Can you weather it?
I believe I will.
2 of the 8 swans start to swim away. Something old is coming. Something dark, cold, beyond the ken of sleepers. And 2 more swans start to swim away.
Well then, I'll have to do all I can to warm it up, won't I?
It nods. It locks eyes with you as the last 3 swim away, leaving you with just your avatar now. And there is a pained, exhausted look on its face. It sympathizes. It empathizes.
We will get through this together.
And it has taken upon itself your burdens.
Lydia places a kiss on the top of its head.
And as you do, you come to in your apartment above the studio, refreshed, even with all the tossing and turning,
She takes a deep breath, calming breath, gets up, does her sun salutations and her yoga routine, gets cleaned up, puts her face on, as her mother always told her, never leave the house without putting your face on, gets dressed and heads out the door after packing a bag. It's actually a beautifully multicolored woven bag that she got from one of the local Cuban artisans here in the community. An over-the-shoulder satchel-type bag. She places in it her keys with the swan keychain. She takes a photo off her vanity. It was her with 5 little girls, little Thai girls, that she had taught in a school in rural Thailand a couple years ago. Puts that in her bag. She places her prayer bracelets on her wrist. And then she places a small leather strap necklace around her neck that has a small vial of water on it, and heads out the door.
The second you come out the door and you come out into the Miami morning, the one-way street in front of the studio is hustling and bustling as it always is. It rarely is calm. But Northwest 7th is one of the lifebloods of coming out of downtown, coming into Little Havana. And across the street, the owner of the bodega is pouring a little bit of coffee, as we call it back home, a little buchito of cafecito into the little cups of Ricardo, your cult of ecstasy acquaintance here in the city. And as he sees you come out, he pulls another little cup out of the man's hand and holds it out so that it can be poured. And he just kind of nods in your direction, motioning for you to come over. Like, "Oye, good morning! King, babo!"
Good morning, Ricardo. And she makes her way over to the table.
And he hands you the little cup as you arrive, takes a sip, kind of makes a face, starts to say something in Spanish to the bodega owner. They kind of laugh for a moment, and then
Lydia has been picking up Spanish from this bodega owner, so what did they say?
yeah, Ricardo is offended that there's not enough sugar in his cup, and the bodega owner has brought out the tall cylindrical sugar shaker, which Ricardo takes a healthy heaping to the little cup, and then he just kind of downs it.
Okay. So you like your hot stuff sweet, huh?
This is going to be the downfall of my people, but yes, the sweeter the better.
Oh, what can I do for you, Ricardo?
Oh, no, it's what I can do for you.
Really?
Yeah,
That might be a list.
Oh, well, we handle it one at a time because multitasking is not my forte.
Good, I like a man that can focus.
And he smiles. The professor said that he came across somebody matching your description, and I figured, well, if the secret's out, I might as well be the one that takes you to meet him.
Yeah, the secret's out, Weird shit happening yesterday.
I heard. I didn't have anything to do with it.
I'd like to check him. What can I roll to check him for bullshit?
You have so many options because you have life, so you can tell if his heart skipped a beat. But you also have mind, to see if his thoughts are in line with what he's saying.
Yeah, but I've also got pretty well stacked on perception too.
Yeah, if you want to do it the mundane way.
I think I'll do it the mundane way. That way he doesn't potentially sense any magic going on.
Oh, how very sneaky of you. Yeah, let's do perception and awareness.
Okay. And what is my difficulty?
We'll say 5. He's not being deceptive.
Okay. And I believe I actually have a specialty in perception. Let me see if that's something that will apply.
Oh,
Intuitive. So would that apply for this?
yeah. So you get to reroll 10s.
All right. That is 6 successes because I had an exploding 10.
He is definitely not lying to you.
Good.
And given the interactions you've had, you've probably realized that over the last few months, he has stopped lying to you. Because he knows that you're going to call him on his bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell. Professor was standing there in the crosswalk and the shit went down and I was just trying to make my way to a friggin' rehearsal and I knew some of those people, Ricardo.
He's rough. I knew one of them, the construction worker. A good guy.
All of them were good.
Yeah, sure. You could say that.
Need to figure out what the hell's going on.
Well, Elias is the closest thing that you can get to Thatcher. Byron was the one in charge before, but his avatar went a la pinga. It's gone. And now he's out on Chrome because that's where people go and they're not here anymore.
Well, I've got a meeting with the professor in a bit. I was actually heading out to head that way.
No, I can take you if you want to go.
You know what? Sure.
Remember, I don't have a fancy car like you do, so don't get excited.
It's fine. That fancy car is the only nice damn thing I have.
And he takes you to his car, which is not a sports car.
No.
In the least. But it's also not like a big van. It's probably like a Buick Somerset or a different Pontiac. But he takes you over to the beach, and on the way over there, he's like, so my sister was there when the whole hoopla happened at the Biltmore. And she also lost her avatar.
Goodness.
But she didn't go crazy like Daniel did, like Byron did. I wonder if that's something specific that happened to him.
That is curious.
Joel didn't go crazy either. She went back to China.
So only one.
Yeah. Even Sam went back to her father's garage up in Connecticut. At a red light, he kind of looks over. You
And he
think
can
he's
see
faking it?
Lydia's gears are turning.
Yeah, and he kind of wiggles his eyebrow at you. He's like, "You think he's faking it?"
I'd have to get a good look at him.
He's pretty handsome. I don't know if you can. If looking is all you're gonna be doing.
Well, at the minimum, I need to look.
Everything starts with a look.
Exactly. And she gives him a wink.
You two are the first to arrive at the park. And as he comes over, you see him kind of shake hands with Elias, motions to you, introduces you to him formally. And then Elias kind of looks at him. You knew there was a vacant here and you didn't say anything. It's very telling of you, Mr. Cardinal. He just shrugs him. What can I say? I want to keep the pretty ones to myself.
He says that to all the girls.
And he leans in closer to Elias and he's just like, but really just the pretty ones. And Elias just kind of rolls his eyes. Yes, of course. The next one to arrive is Anita. And as you walk up, you pass the little known bar that, at least to Anita anyway, that's called the Mutiny. It's out on Sailboat Bay. And some of the people that are gathered outside don't look like they're sailors. Not like recreational sailors, not like Navy sailors. They're wearing these cheap suits. The bit of arm that they are showing whenever they're showing it kind of has these really vividly colored tattoos. And they're speaking in Russian.
Okay. Anita's gonna keep on walking because she doesn't speak Russian. And
Yep.
yeah. Doesn't feel like going over and doing the like, oh, what big muscles you have game. So yeah.
Okay. The few of them kind of take notice of you. You do how are you dressed today?
It's basically the same as the day before. She's probably almost always has like a long kind of flowy kind of, I don't want to say it's bohemian, but like the kind of like bohemian skirt kind of look, if that makes sense, with some sort of just like shirt or whatever over the top. So she has her hat on today because it's she's not on her bike. So
Yeah, one of them kind of points in your direction. Somebody else laughs. And one of the other ones, kind of the smaller one of the group, kind of slaps the one that laughed. And then everybody kind of just goes quiet. And the one that did the slapping kind of nods in your direction, almost like apologizing for the group.
Anita is going to go back. She's going to turn around. She's going to kind of, when she, with the nod, she's going to kind of turn. She's going to start actually walking towards them. And she wants to go over and she's whichever one made the comment. If she recognizes, if she like saw the person who made the comment or whatever that got them all, she wants to go over and she actually is going to place her hand on their arm, like on their tattoo, and she's gonna turn and she's gonna kind of try and talk to the one that was nice, like, thank you so much for, you know, telling your fine gentleman to. But while she's talking, I actually want to. I want to use. I basically want to like erase this guy's tattoo, or at least like a handprint of his tattoo from where my hand is on his arm. If that is possible.
Sure.
So
you have life and forces, and you have the prime to make it permanent. So that is definitely an easy thing to do. Do you want to do it so that it is painful to him, or do you want to do it so it is not painful to him?
I don't want it to be painful. I basically just kind of want it to happen so that once I walk away and he notices it, or his friends notice it, they're gonna be like, haha, you dipshit, or whatever. So yeah.
Okay, so that'll definitely be a life entropy prime effect. It is going to be vulgar. There are witnesses, so it's going to start at difficulty 7. Do you have a focus for?
I mean, I have the focus for life on my tattoo, and you said it's prime and forces.
Prime and entropy.
I'm trying to think, because I was trying to think through like what the elements of the tattoo. I think part of the element of the tattoo is a prime focus because it's supposed to kind of.
Okay. So you have 2 out of the 3. So that's more than enough to bring it down to difficulty 6.
Okay. So I just rolled the 2 dice.
Roll your arete of 2 dice, 6 or higher, and you succeed. Is a success, and you.
I got 2 successes.
Okay.
9 and an 8. So
yeah. So there is a moment where you kind of reach out, put your hand on his sleeve, and you stretch out with your avatar, and you pull you push past the fibers of his jacket, you push past the fibers of the shirt underneath. Excuse me. And you feel the pattern of the tattoo on his skin. And everywhere that your fingertips, that your finger outline kind of grabbed on to his body, you can feel that you just want to erase the tattoo ink, or do you want to take it into yourself?
I think she would probably actually like pull it out. She's going to like weave it into the tattoo on her arm.
Okay. What pattern would you like to add to your tattoo?
I think she's going to. I want to basically. I want there to be kind of like the start of this like tree that's kind of growing over like the central circle thing with the roots, but like it's not the full blown tree yet. It's in my head. It makes sense. I'm not doing a great job of describing it. Sorry.
I get it. You want the beginning of the tree.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go one step further. I think you pull the ink that you can pull off of his arm in your hand shape, and it forms the image of a sapling growing in some fertile soil.
Perfect.
It's painless. He doesn't know anything about it. And you hear the little guy, it is nothing, it is unfair of this big Galumpa to be making fun of such a nice lady, especially after our friend has died unexpectedly the previous day. And he kind of looks up at him, scolding.
I'm sorry for your all's loss. I can keep them in my thoughts, I guess. Or you all. I'm sorry. It's always difficult when someone loses somebody, but since we started off on the weird foot of him being a Galupa, that Sorry, she's gonna kind of like reach her hand out to the shorter individual. I'm Anita.
I am Alexi, and he shakes your hand. Here, and he pulls from his pocket what looks to be a business card, but it's actually a drink ticket. And on one side it says "good for one free drink." On the other side it says "the Limelight," and it has an address. This is club that has been acquired recently. Please consider this a gift.
Oh, thank you, Alexi. I will have to stop by.
I would appreciate that. I could show my remorse for hiring such a good for nothing, and kind of gives him another look. And the guy has retreated like a turtle into himself.
Go easy on him, Alexi. He will feel his shame in due time. So
he doesn't have to worry about me. He has to worry about the Vasily.
Is Vasily going to chop his fingers off or something?
No, we don't do that.
Oh, okay. You hear such fanciful stories sometimes. You know, the Big Red. No offense, the communists. So, you know, it's. I'm sure it's all propaganda, but sometimes, you know,
it is.
I'm sorry. All is forgiven. I've taken up too much of your time, though, because I have someplace I need to be. So you gentlemen have a fabulous day and enjoy the sun. So,
yes. Good day to you too.
Thanks. And she's gonna then she's gonna turn and walk away.
You managed to hear the chastising that happens in Russian, and as you start to make your way towards the park, you'll be arriving just as John Baker is arriving. I think Alistair would be the last one to really kind of saunter in to this group.
Oh, yeah.
And as you all are sitting down at the gazebo, and Elias is kind of talking you through what the Cabal was in Miami, which was basically the story of season 1, and how the explosion at the Biltmore kind of rocked the node and ended up destroying 3 different avatars in the process. They don't know why a simple explosion has done this to the node, or why it would be strong enough to have destroyed 3 avatars, at least 3 of the Cabal avatars. There were other awakened there that have also lost their avatars, but because they weren't part of the Cabal, they aren't really checked up on, especially because one of them was, in his words, a sleazeball of a Russian agent. The other one was a police officer, and the third one was a private detective. At least those 2, from what I heard, were upstanding citizens. But I feel like as the events of the 12th night explosion and what is happening now might be tied together in some way. I believe that whatever happened on that January evening is still happening. Gears have been turning. However, I think that spreading ourselves too thin could be a danger. So I would like the 4 of you, if you are so inclined, and he does at this point produce 8 vials of this glowing dark pink, light purple liquid that if you shake it, starts to swirl like a lava lamp. As promised, your down payment of Tess, 2 vials each. I can promise you 3 more upon completion. Do we have an agreement, an accord?
Hey, a job's a job. I'm game.
That is 1.
Alistair just throws up the horns and goes back to shaking the vial and staring at it, eyes bloodshot, probably still high from the joint.
That is 2.
Yeah, we're going to find more than we expect out of this, I think.
I'm afraid so. That is 3, I take it.
Mm-hmm.
He slowly looks at Anita.
Yes. Even if I wanted to say no, I don't believe I can. She kind of tries to look off in the direction of the Atlantic, and just there's something coming. I was warned of that, but that's all. I don't think I have a choice but to help you. So
Very well. Please feel free to, at any point, if you feel like you are in over your head, you can at any point walk away from this. I feel like you have been brought together for a reason, however, so I appreciate all 4 of you sticking together. I believe that our first inquiry should be about Edward Malcolm Gaines, as his corporation that has suddenly taken over the restoration of the Biltmore. And from what I understood, from the little bit that I have managed to pry from Daniel, up until the events of the 12th night, Mr. Gaines was a vampire. And now he has reawakened his avatar and has resurrected his original body. This, of course, is vulgar in the highest level. I would like to find out how he did this and what he plans to do given the situation. 9 sacrifices. For what? He hands each of you a business card that shows that he's a professor at the University of Miami.
Lydia puts the tass and the card in her bag.
John picks up the task and the card, puts it in his coat. Takes out
Alice.
a book. Sorry. Makes a couple of notes, closes it, puts it back.
Alistair will put the vial or the task vials in the fanny pack, like the small little outer pocket, and then he'll slip the card into one of the pages of his notebook.
Okay. You hiding them anywhere in particular, or just taking?
What's that?
Is Anita hiding them anywhere in particular, or?
Oh, Anita's just going to stick everything into her her kind of like satchel bag thing that she has. So
he introduces you to the gentleman that's just been off to the side, kind of smoking and just kind of dancing to no music. as Ricardo Angel Cardenal. He is the Cult of Ecstasy member of my cabal. He is, unfortunately, the best outlet you have for getting around the city and finding anything out. So I apologize for him in advance. And the second he says that, Ricardo kind of steps forward. He's like, "Oye, no te preocupes. I take care of everything. Whatever you need, I got you, baby."
So as soon as Ricardo talks, Alistair is like pulling a cigarette out of the fanny pack, is lighting it, takes a drag. I want whatever he's on.
And he kind of winks at you. He's like, I'll give you something later, my friend. Don't you worry. I got plenty for everybody if everybody's down to party.
Alistair will take another drag.
And as all of you are introduced to Ricardo and the mission at hand, I think this is a good time to call it for tonight.
Yay!
Welcome to the first session of Mage.
Hell yeah.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight for Mage Neon Tempest, Season 2 of Ravenous Archon's Miami 1980s Mage Chronicle. We did raise some money tonight for National Breast Cancer Foundation. Thank you so much to Revbin Powers for that donation during the second half of the stream. We appreciate you so much for helping out. Mwah.
Yay, boobies.
Vasily is a man of the people. All right. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight. If you enjoyed the content you have seen here, you can give us a follow here on Twitch. You can give us a sub or a Prime subscription. With Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription a month. If you want to come and chat with us about the game, you can hang out with us in Discord. We have a special room just for this game. I even posted my look tonight. Bill saying I look like Pat Benatar, and it does something for him. I'm going to make a note. It obviously does something for Ricardo, too. But no, so join us in Discord so we can chat about the game. We actually have 2 open casting calls going on right now. We have one for Zasarkala, run by my husband, Shanky McStabber. He is going to be closing that casting call on the 8th, I believe. If I may be wrong. But anyway, I think it's closing actually this week. And then my casting call for The Way Home, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse game set in basically the type of environment of Cartoon Network's Over the Garden Wall, that is open for the next week. So if you want to join us in a stream game, apply for our casting calls that are posted in the Casting Couch and Discord. If you want to check out other great TTRPG content, check out our friends. One of which is Ravnos Archon, our amazing mage storyteller here in McStabber Studios. He streams multiple games a week on his own channel, so you need to go give him some love and check him out. If you want to catch back episodes of any of our streams that we stream, and we are streaming a lot of streams this month for Game Pink, you can catch that on YouTube. So give a check out to those channels there. Also, coming up this week, we have, my goodness, Saturday. We're taking a couple days off. Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Shanky is going to be here with Paranoia. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. We got a one-shot tomorrow. I'm in it, and I forgot about it. There is a one-shot tomorrow. I'm telling you, my brain is fried. I'm doing whatever Ricardo's doing, obviously. Tomorrow we have Thirsty Sword Lesbians, run by Moira. It's actually going to be featuring myself as a player and also Ivy Raven down there as a player. We are doing that as a one-shot with an amazing cast of wonderful ladies. We are doing Thirsty Sword Lesbians Constellation Festival at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Then on Saturday is Paranoia with Shanky as a one-shot. Sunday is Windy City After Dark at 5 p.m. Eastern with Season 4, Episode 5, our mid-season. A lot of stuff's going to happen. You don't want to miss it. Monday is Haunted Chronicles at 8 p.m. Eastern with Tamshu. This is the last season of that campaign of our Chronicles of Darkness stream, so you don't want to miss this because characters are dropping. Characters are dropping. You need to tune in. And then, of course, Tuesday, we are back here with Mage, Neon Tempest, Episode 2. All the stuff is about to blow up, y'all. For real. And again, we want to make sure that you guys, we appreciate you supporting us and supporting Game Pink this month, but really we want you to take care of yourself. If you are struggling with any mental health issues, reach out to those you care about, reach out to friends, family, loved ones, get some support from them if you need it. Also, you may find that your friends and loved ones need your support at that time when you reach out. It's, just the circle of things. It's the way things work. But if you are actually struggling and in crisis, we have a list of numbers and resources that you can text or call for various crisis support lines in the U.S. And we also have a website for international folks that you can go in and put in your country and find the crisis support line for you. So please get the help you need because we want you to take care of yourself and we want you around for a long time. And I'm going to speak on behalf of Timber Brad because Timber Brad is my fellow nurse here at McStabber Studios. I'm a nurse. Go get your COVID shot. For real. Really.
Get your damn shot, please.
Get your shot. Take care of your health. Take care of the health of others. Make sure you're part of the solution and not the problem. Go get your vaccine if you are eligible to get your vaccine, please. And with that, we are going to say goodnight, and we love you all. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you all for coming. Rock on.